It's time to fill your cup with some Chelsea's chai.
Hello, hello. Happy Friday. And it is time for another edition of Chelsea's Chai. Welcome back. Thank you again to everyone who has been listening to season one thus far. We've got just after today's episode, we've just got one episode left, and then we're going to be taking a break. So I'm really excited to bring you these last couple weeks of content for the first season. And I am your host, Chelsea Grow, and I am, comedian, writer, actress, funny, dope, great hair, great personality, and never too loud. And so yeah, that is me. So welcome back. I am, wearing a little dress for you guys. We're down to the last couple episodes, so I figured I'd, dress up, show a little clavage, a little slight clavage for you who are watching this on the television or the YouTube. And yeah, I'm doing it because I can. And that's the only reason. There's no other explanation. So, getting right into it, before we get into all of the exciting segments we have here on Chelsea's Chai, as always, first and foremost, we've got to open the bag. Okay, so let's get into the bag. As usual, the B for the bag stands for boss up. And my boss up tip is know when to reset your invest. Okay. I'm gonna tell you what I mean by that. What I mean by that is know when you need to redirect your investments into yourself. Okay. And as somebody who is, an entrepreneur and somebody who is working towards building her own empire and things like that, I definitely know that the grind can be tough. Okay. The grind can be so much, it can be really overwhelming to where you're like, oh my gosh, like I don't have time to even like, breathe, much less like, do my hair or my makeup. And for guys, it could be like getting a haircut or, doing a couple push-ups just to get your blood flowing. But I will say know when to invest, reset your invest because we put so much money. Guys, when we are on our grind, when we are trying to build our next, level or lifestyle, we put so much money into other things and other people and things that are outside of ourselves. And a lot of times, the last place we'll put money is in ourselves. And so I am challenging myself to redirect my invest into myself. So get ready because the girls, I'm gonna be getting myself together, honey. I'm getting my nails done tomorrow. Cause let's be honest, all right. I know those of you been watching these on YouTube. I know y'all have seen how in every episode my nails are like my nail polish is chipped or something. And I have paid it, but I can't anymore. So I am getting myself a mani pedi tomorrow, or and I'm so excited to do that. And I'm also gonna be, getting my hair done by the Dominicans soon. I'm getting myself, I'm doing a full redress, reset, honey, because in the past I would always say, excuse me, because in the past I would always say, oh my gosh, like $80 to get my hair done, that's too much, or $60 for a mani pedi, that's too much. And you know what, it's not too much, because guess what, that money, I know me, that money's going to get spent regardless. Okay, I'm either going to spend it on extra groceries or on going out or on somebody else or on something else that I don't, that isn't even going to make me feel as good as getting my hair and nails done. So I'm doing that, and I highly recommend that you do that too. Honey, redirect some of that money towards yourself. And I know it is a pandemic. I know it is tough times. I know that people are financially like dealing with it. But honey, let me tell you, I promise you, anytime I get my hair done or like pressed out or like, just deep condition and really just get somebody else's hands in your hair and get somebody else's hands on your hands and your feet. Like it really does reset me, not only, of course, physically, but really mentally. So I challenge you this week to boss up by just, not being afraid to put some money towards yourself. So that's what I say. All right. So that is the boss up tip for this week. And now we're going to go ahead and transition right into the lovely Crystal Powell. She is our senior accountant, and she's going to be giving us some more tax tips that you will not want to miss. So let's get right into it. Okay, so kind of, I guess kind of backtracking or piggybacking. I'm curious because you've been doing your own taxes for so long. I just was like, I wanted to know when you were single and did not have children, were there any tax breaks that you did not know that you realized you could have? Because I think that like some people think like, oh, just because they don't have like, they're not married, they don't have kids, they don't own a house. But I mean, are there tax breaks that you maybe were like surprised, like, oh, that's a tax break, or oh, anything like that?
Mm,
Or even now too, in your current situation, but just either or for I just was curious.
I guess just having a deeper understanding of what really is going on when you're paying taxes would have been helpful. So when you start a job, they give you the W-4 form to fill out. I would highly suggest you read that form, ask questions so you can understand what you're doing here, because this is what sets the scene of what's going to happen when you file your taxes in the future. If you select the wrong thing and you have the IRS taking out more than is necessary every paycheck, then that will result in a refund when you file your taxes because you pay them too much throughout the year. If you select the wrong thing and you don't have them withholding enough, then you have a situation where you'll owe at the end of the year because you weren't paying enough throughout the year. So it's really about finding that sweet spot where you're paying just enough where you don't owe and you don't necessarily get a refund. Because a refund is not free money, it's not coming out of nowhere. It's money that the IRS has taken from you throughout the year. And you're pretty much lending them this money and you're not getting any interest for it. You're giving them a zero interest loan and giving them they're giving you the same money that you overpay them back with no interest. So
Wow.
refunds aren't
Wow.
refunds aren't this like, you know, free money times and in between January and April that everybody, is excited about. Yeah, that's all fine and dandy, but you want to make sure that you're not giving them more money throughout the year than you need to, because you could have used that throughout the whole year. And you could have put that extra money in a savings account. Even a regular savings account that doesn't really yield as much interest will give you more return than you giving that money to the IRS will.
Crystal, you just literally blew my mind. Oh my gosh, I never no, because I never thought about it. You're right. Like, you know, cuz and I'll say this, I'm so glad you brought that up because I recently had a conversation with my mama about, taxes and stuff. And my mom told me that she didn't know this for years, but she was selecting the wrong thing on her, and she's talking about after like me and my siblings are grown and out the house and now she's her
Mm-hmm.
only dependent again. And so but she said she was filing for herself and she realized like, oh, she was selecting the wrong thing. And she's like, why are my checks like smaller than they should be? And then she realized, oh, she selected the wrong thing. And so I don't even know what number she selected. And that's where think some of the confusion comes in, is because she selected the number where whatever the highest she could select to where she wouldn't owe anything, but she wouldn't get a refund. She said she pretty much breaks even with the when she does her taxes every year now. And that's the thing, like, which do you know, does it matter? Like, does it know, like, how do you know which number to select? I know there's 0 and 1 and 2 and but I mean,
it, it it walks you through it. Like, so just read the form. There's a new one out now.
oh, okay,
Um,
okay,
there's a new
cool.
version out. I would encourage you to talk to your HR department. They have been trained to learn the new form, so they should be able to give you all the information you need to be able to select the right thing. But it also usually gives you really good instruction on how you need to fill out that form. And then also you can also choose to withhold additional money. So you can actually write in an amount on this new form. So, for example, and I did that because um, my husband is an artist, so a lot of his income is coming in. As an independent contractor, and so not as an employee. So they don't withhold taxes from that money. So at the end of the year, he's gonna owe taxes on all that money that he made. And so to kind of cut some of that, what we will owe, I selected withhold an additional whatever, however many dollars every paycheck, because I know this is coming. And I know that if I don't do this and I just withhold, just like if I was just me for my check, then I know when I add his 1099 income on our tax return, it's going to make us owe. And so you can write in an extra amount for them to hold so that when it comes to the end of the year, you don't owe any money. So if you anticipate something like that or any other situation where you think that you may owe a little bit more, then you can write that number in. You couldn't do that before in the old form. But I would encourage anybody to just talk to their HR department to walk them through how to fill out that form so they can do it correctly.
Thank you, and thank you for bringing up and I definitely, yes, please, if you have a job, you know, the 9 to 5 job, you know, that you go into, please contact your HR for more details on this. But I'm so glad you brought up the point about withholding additional amount, because you know, I'm a comedian. I'm out here in LA, and I know a lot of people I know are freelance artists, especially
Mhm.
since this pandemic. A lot of people who were artists but had day jobs lost their day jobs, and so they actually started making money off their own, you know, content, because they had the time and everything. They were covered by unemployment at the time. And I didn't even know there. First of all, I didn't know there was new tax forms, so thank you for sharing that. But that's something definitely to share, because a lot of people have moved into like that freelance working. So if you could withhold an additional amount or any, you know, or even in any kind of way, like, that's good to know
Mhm.
that's something that's available.
Yeah, if you're completely like independent or self-employed, I would encourage you to pay quarterly taxes.
You can do
So
that?
yes, you can pay your taxes in advance. And you actually can get charged a penalty if you don't pay a certain percentage of your estimated tax liability in the year. So let's say I'm working a job, I'm making $50,000 a year, and I choose for them not to withhold anything. And I go through the whole year and I make that whole 50,000. They don't withhold anything. So I haven't paid any taxes throughout the year. I get a penalty for that because I was supposed to pay a certain percentage of that, whatever the tax liability would be for me throughout the year. So you can't technically now you can't withhold nothing. Like you can't do
Right, right.
that.
Because they're counting on that. They're like, hold on a second.
Right.
Okay.
So a lot of self-employed people, I encourage you to have some type of accounting system where you're like recording the income that you're making. Um, and it could usually a good accounting system will help you estimate how much your tax liability is going to be at the end of the year by like forecasting what you expect to make that year. And with that, you can estimate, okay, these 3 months of the year, I made this amount. This is my tax bracket. This is the estimate of how much I will owe based on this income that I made. Let me go ahead and send that to the IRS and then do it again in 3 months and then do it again in 3 months and do it again at the end of the year. That way, when you actually file your taxes, you'll hopefully maybe get some of that back. But the goal is to just not owe anything. You've already paid what you would have owed, as opposed to you just collecting all that money tax free all year, and then you go to file your taxes, and then boom, you owe all this money.
And this sounds something that even like people who are drivers for like Uber and Lyft, could do too, right? Because I know that I know a lot of people whether that's their sole income is Uber and Lyft, or like maybe a combination of Uber, Lyft, Postmates, that kind of thing. But that's their income. But under these companies, they are independent contractors,
Mhm.
so they could do that too.
Right. Yeah. The idea is if you are a contractor for someone and they pay you $600 or more during the calendar year, then they are required to give you a 1099 and file that with the IRS. So they're telling the IRS, I paid Chelsea $600 in 2020. Make sure she make sure she reports that income. So the IRS will know that this company pays you this money. So they're expecting you to include that when you file as well, because they know
Yeah.
you get a 1099 and you just try to not put it on there. They know you're not putting it on there because the company gives you the 1099 and they give the IRS the 1099.
Got you. That makes sense. Whew. Okay. Thank you again to Crystal for that amazing advice, and just giving us all these tips about filing and the details, the little details that we may not always think about but are super helpful. So again, shout out to Crystal Powell for that information. Again, everything you heard, I want to just remind everybody we are not tax professionals, and we are not experts on any in any tax professional way, but Crystal is very well versed in taxes and all that information. But I just wanted to like communicate that with you guys. And you definitely can trust her, because anytime I've actually listened to her money advice, it does work out. So definitely take that with you, and please follow her online. She's on social media at Get Busy Bookkeeping, and you can go to her website busybeebookkeeping.com. So moving right along to the last part of the bag, which is the G, and that is for gratitude. So gratitude. My gratitude tip for this week is be grateful when things start getting removed from your life. Okay. I am going through a transition right now in my life. I'm definitely noticing that a lot of things are being removed from my life. Either I'm removing them or they are just naturally removing themselves. Same thing with people. Either I'm removing them or they are naturally removing themselves. And I want, instead of when this happens, because when this first started happening, I'd say it really started actively happening about a few months ago, and now I'm realizing that it is such a blessing when things and people get removed from your life, and when you recognize the time when to push them away. Because guys, I mean, it's really getting you, setting you up for the next phase in your life. And so I am embracing this removal, this shedding, this detox of people and things and situations that just no longer serve me. So I highly recommend that you guys definitely, if that is happening to you, or if you feel like that's happening to you, don't fight it. The cough was confirmation. Don't fight it. Don't fight it. Don't run from it. Run towards it. Okay. Run towards the what you're dealing with, because I'm telling you, God is doing it for a reason. Okay. And for those of you who don't believe in God, that's fine, but whatever your higher power is, trust me, like, it is happening for a reason. Okay. I truly believe that God is removing people in situations from my life because God is setting me up for something new, and I may not know what that looks like. I may not know what it's going to be, but I am going to just trust him. And although it hurts, it hurts to like let go of certain people and certain things, I just know that ultimately it's worth it. And ultimately I deserve the best. Ultimately I deserve to feel safe and loved, and, and just to feel good. And anything that doesn't, push me towards that has got to go. And I'm grateful for things leaving. So I guess to sum up my gratitude tip for this week, be grateful for the things that leave, because they're necessary to make room for the things that will come. And that is the bag for this first Friday in March. I'm so sorry I'm coughing a lot, guys. I think it's been really cold the last few days, and I think I'm a little congested, but it is not the Rona, okay? So don't worry about that. All right. I mean, it doesn't matter because this is all digital, but just so you know, I'm good. So thank the Lord, I'm good. But it's just allergies and congestion. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and just move right along to my favorite segment here on Chelsea's Chai, Inside the Punchlines. And I'm so excited for you guys to meet this next comedian. Oh my gosh, he's hilarious, he's talented, and I'm just gonna get right into it. And so let's get ready. We're back. Welcome back to Chelsea's Chai, and we're getting ready to get geared up for my favorite segment, Inside the Punchlines. And I am super excited to have this guy on here. I've known him for years. He's absolutely hilarious and, consistently funny, and he's a good person. So, that adds to it because there's people that are funny that are not nice. So he's at all. And it sucks because you gotta be like, dang, you funny, but I hate you because you are so rude. So, but he's not that guy. He's a good guy. So I'll go ahead and introduce him. He grew up a military brat, born in Oceanside, California, living all around the country, but landed back in Los Angeles at a young age. Raised by a single father, Keenan struggled growing up, losing fights and not being able to be let back in the house until he won the fights. Because that was his father's rule. He got his start in comedy back in 2009 and has been going nonstop ever since. He dropped his debut comedy album, I Might Need Therapy, on all streaming platforms, and the visual to that album, the visual to that album in 2020. Keenan performs at all of the major comedy clubs in Los Angeles and went on to his first nationwide tour in 2019 to 2020. He's been on Laughs, Fox, Fuse TV, Revolt TV's Funny AF. His energetic style and storytelling brings a real life to the stage and his laughter to crowds all over. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Keenan
Baker. Oh, yeah. While you're reading that, I was like, I got to type that bio up. Shit. I got to type that up. There's some grammatical errors in there. So I gotta redo that.
No, I try to give you that, that live and that hype, energetic intro, because that's what you deserve. I'm definitely grateful for you logging on with me today. But yeah, how you been handling this whole pandemic thing?
I've been surviving, man. It's been what it is. I was a little nervous because I live with my lady, so I was nervous about how everybody was like, man, it's going to test you. And I was very nervous because she's a lone wolf. Like she can, she don't need me, which is always the funny part when it's like, I really don't need you, but I like you, so I can be with you. So I was just like, let's see how that's going to be. And it's been cool. We've actually gotten closer and everything's been fine. So, I mean, it takes a toll on your mental health, but we've been hanging in there, which is great.
And that's so good to hear about your relationship because there's some people who got divorced. There's some people who have been living because you're so right. And I mean, I gotta say, I've interviewed, several comedians so far, and some of them are also in relationships, and this was like the most time they'd spent with their partner, like in close quarters. And it's like, yeah, thankfully everyone I know personally that was in that situation, they're cool, and it did same thing you said, draw us closer. But I definitely know some folks that were like, yeah, we need a divorce. You're like, but we're not even married. You're like, yeah, but we need a divorce. It's like, you need to go. But that's good. I mean, think about it. Like, I think that because all the distractions were gone, because if you're in an unhealthy relationship, but maybe y'all live together and split rent, and for some people, that'd be the motivation to stay with somebody. They'd be like, oh, well, I'm not trying to pay full rent by myself. So then they distract the unhappiness with like going to the gym or going to bars with friends or just going to all the things that got shut down. It was like, no, you got to look at each other every day. Like, be like,
we split rent. So yeah, definitely. I'm sure that's like these arguments that would be like, well, I'm out of here. It's kind of just like, man, shit, I got to stick this out, So I get it.
Yo, that's good. That's good. So we're going to start with your first bit that you sent me. We're going to go through 3 and we'll just talk about each one after it plays. So let me cue it up and let's listen.
Never cheated before in a relationship. Never cheated. I just seen to look at a homegirl. She was like, please stop it. I know a million dudes look like you. You're cheating now. You're probably cheating right now. You probably told your girl you was in here at home with your boys. I've never cheated before. Never cheated. And I'll be honest with you. It's not because I think that cheating's bad, because I don't. It's because like I can't financially afford to cheat. That's the real reason. Because it's expensive to cheat. Like the repercussions is expensive. And I'm broke. I don't have a lot of money. Like if I cheat on my girl now and she decides to bust my car windows, that's it. I don't have car windows. I gotta put a trash bag on my car as a window. Not even a clear one, like a white bag on it. I gotta rip it off just to parallel park to see. If she slashes my tires, I no longer have transportation. That's it. If she sets my car on fire, I'm homeless. That's the end of it. I got no place to live. I'm done. Never cheated.
Yo.
It's
Yes.
sometimes it's so cringeworthy to listen to your own material. It feels so narcissistic, but shit.
No, you have but you
have
got
to.
to. You have to. And I mean, side note, I'm actually getting back into that because I remember when I first started doing stand-up, like that was what I had to get over. That was the hardest thing, is listening to yourself. Then I started just thinking about it from a different perspective. I was like, well, why don't I just, when I listen to my bits, think of myself as an audience member, or think of myself as how I am when I look at any other comic do stand up, and like you think of tags and stuff like that. So
Right.
but okay, so this bit is clearly about dating and cheating. So why don't you tell us like some of the inspiration? Like, is this something that was inspired by like one relationship or one thing, or just over course of time, or just tell me a little bit about how you got to how this bit came into fruition.
I mean, it's funny because I thought I never actually cheated on a girl, and then when I posted this bit, one of my ex-girlfriends was like, "Never." And I was like,
she hit you with the receipts. She was like, never.
And we're like, we're still cool and stuff like that. But I was just like, she had brought up a situation. I was just like, I mean, that wasn't cheating. Like I didn't, I wasn't with this girl or nothing like that. But so it came from pretty much like majority of my relationships. I don't cheat because I just felt like, the way I was raised kind of to cheat. That's all I saw. Like my dad was saying some shit, man. It's in our DNA, nigga. It is what it is. And I was just like, oh God, let me try to change this. And so, when it came to relationships, I try to be as open and honest as possible. So that was one of the reasons. And then, when I talk about the money part of it, like I'm just not financially stable enough to cheat. I wasn't, like, especially at that time, like I was broke. I was just like, man, this is like, you want me to take out this many different women? Women are expensive to take out, and we're expected to at least pay for the first date or two. So that, like seeing my friends go through stuff, and because a lot of the things I pull from is myself, and like I see as like aspirational sense of like my friends, what they go through too. I've seen friends had their tires slashed with girls, windows busted, and I'm just like, I don't have the 80 to get that window fixed, nigga. I don't have that right now. Like that's if I lose that, I ain't gonna be able to eat. Now I can't eat for the next 2 days. I gotta just drink water. So I'm not doing that. So
well, hey, whatever's your motivation, I'm sure your girlfriend appreciates it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. But that's like really funny because like because there's some dudes who don't got 2 pennies rubbed together but got like 6 chicks, and I don't know how and I don't know how they do it. Like I've had dudes that I know were seeing multiple girls ask me for $20. I'm like, man, I'm about to help you with your situation. Like you got 20 I can hold, I gotta
And when I was kind of like messing around with different women, I kind of had different women, but because they weren't, it wasn't about like taking them out. It was just like, yo, they know what it is. And so that was fine. But when it's like, no, let's go on dates, I was just like, woo, oh boy.
And side chicks like to be kept, okay? Because that's what you're paying for. You're paying for a side chick silence. So she don't slide in your girl DM and be like, so actually he was with me.
I think a lot of guys don't understand that is that you're paying for side chick silence, and
Yep.
you have to understand that it's like you're not paying them to break them off a little bit of bread. They're like, nigga, this is for me to shut up, or else I'll slide in your girl DM like you said. But two, what I used to do with girls, I used to like, I used to always eat. I'm not that hungry, so I mean, if you want to go out to eat, like I already ate, and I'll be starving.
And then she hear your stomach.
Yeah, or because she be like, yo, what you finna do tonight? I'm like, oh, I already ate. So she's like, oh, I wanted to go out and eat. I'm like, I ain't that hungry. All right, well, you wanted to just come through? Yeah, I mean, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? Sorry, I can't get in. Yeah. In my head, I'm like, oh, yes, I won again.
Won again. See, that's why I don't fall for that stuff. I've been, I've gotten the past, but no. But thank you for confirming that that was BS. I always thought it was, but now it's confirmed. Because I'm like, dudes, like, well, I don't. That whole concept of a dude not being hungry just doesn't make sense to me. I have a younger brother, so my mom, he's cleaned out my mom's whole fridge before, and I'm like, and then the next day clean it out again. I'm like, okay, but he's big. My brother is tall, like he's 6'5", but even still, like, I just feel like just dude, y'all be eating food, like what dude gonna turn out a burger? You know what I'm saying? But I guess when it's in this situation, you're like, I gotta conserve.
In most cases, a man can always eat. Even when he's full, he'd be like, I can snack on something. I can at least snack on something. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it was complete BS.
Complete.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Kanan, can I hire you as like my pseudo big brother?
Hey, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I'll be wanting to like help out a lot of like the female, like the women homies like that, because, they be like, I'm talking to this guy, but like you're not the only one. And like, well, I think in my head I say that, and I just be like, man. And then when I try to give advice, they always hit me with the "you're mansplaining." So I just back off. I always just kind of back off. I be trying to give advice, but I'm like, y'all don't want this. Y'all want to fail. That's fine.
I think you know what it is. I think when you've already started messing with the guy, like if they've already been intimate, I think for a woman, it's hard when you've been intimate with a guy already and then you ask the questions. I think if women ask the questions before you're intimate with the guy, it's easier. Because then I know for me personally, when I've been intimate with the guy and then I start seeing weird red flags or weird things and I talk to my guy friends for advice, I'll hear it, but part of me feels kind of stupid. I feel like I felt for something, or I was dumb, or I was like, and it's hard because I try to pride myself on like being an intelligent woman and stuff like that. But it's just when it comes to matters of the heart and stuff like that, it's easy to get off kilter. And so I think that's probably, it's not that the mansplaining, it's just that I think most women, when you explain deep down, they know you're telling the truth, but they're like, well, fuck, he already got my body. So it's like, he got you already. You just feel like you got. So it's just, I think it's the resistance you're probably getting is like, they're projecting how they feel about themselves. Cause they, yeah.
And it's okay. I mean, you're gonna get got. You're not gonna always win those. You know what I'm saying? I've gotten got by women a few times. So it's like,
yeah,
it happens.
And that's what I was going to ask you too. Have you ever been cheated on in your life or experienced infidelity or really? Okay.
The reason why I had a heart of adamantium, which is Wolverine's metal. I had a heart because I got cheated on by the two girls that I thought I was like, they were the ones.
Oh, that sucks when you think they're the one. Oh,
and it was these were two back-to-backs, so that's what made that tough. It was like, yo, this is a girl I was with for like on and off with 5 years or so, and then a girl that I met in the time with like me and that girl was kind of breaking up. I met this other girl, and I was like, man, she's perfect. She's like a mix between these two celebrities. That's the way she looks, and I was like, damn. She's it. I'm gonna marry her. Mm-hmm. And then same thing. So for a very long time, I was just like every girl was just like this. Yep. All right. Yep. I gave him no emotion for a very long time.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you healed. You healed from that. I'm sorry you had to deal with that. But I mean, I wanted to ask you too, to piggyback off that. Do you think that? Because in my experience, I my guy friends who like got cheated on and got their heart really broke, they did the same thing. They went for a girl who looked like she was like, oh, she like a 20, like she looked like Halle Berry and Nicole Kidman had a baby. Like, you know, she looked like just baddie, like just everything perfect. You know, she looked like Janae Aiko and mixed with this, and, you know, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I think that I just noticed a pattern. It seems like a lot of my guy friends, those that it was a woman like that broke their heart, you know?
Well, I mean, I'll say this for me. I didn't particularly like go after this girl super heavy. Like I forgot, this is when Twitter was like popping. And so back in probably 2009, 2010ish or something like that. And we just started talking. Like she had followed me for whatever reason. And I thought she was fake at first. I thought she was like a catfish for a long time. And then when we finally like Skyped or whatever it was, I was like, oh shit, she's real. Because it was long distance. It's on distance for a while.
I see.
And then
I see.
But then we end up linking in person a few times too. But it started off as like long distance, just as friends.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, she wasn't one of those girls that like dressed up super bad like that. It was like she's all face. Like it was just like you see her like, dang, like she looks like people say. I guess she got a lot of times. She got Kelly Rowland / Janelle Monáe. That's what she got a lot. Like
I see. Very beautiful.
So she would get that a lot, but like she wasn't out there, like she was never out there like to where, you know, like she would cause a lot of attention by the way she dressed or looked or nothing like that. So it wasn't like, I wouldn't even necessarily say she was out of my league or anything like that. I feel like I was pulling them, man. I can get them. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, no, not
so,
no, not like that. No, but go ahead. Sorry.
No, I understand what you're saying. Some dudes do date up physically in the sense of how the girl looks, and the girl looks like probably out of their lead, and then it happens. I think
that's what I was asking. Yeah, because it's like they go for a girl because of the superficial, you know, like they may have another girl over here that, you know, is beautiful too, but maybe she doesn't, you know, fit into that LA societal red carpet standard of beauty, you know, and it's like, and so, you know, they'll meet a girl who's, yeah, she's beautiful, but maybe she's more like a down to earth girl next door. But then you go for like that supermodel type, but you went for the supermodel just because of how she looked. But you had no idea that girl was crazy, and then now she done stabbed you or like broke, you know, or some crazy stuff, or cheated on you or worse, you know. So I guess I was just curious if there was a correlation in your mind.
So I think sometimes, yeah. I mean, in my two instances, it was like two women where I feel like one was kind of like an alcoholic. She was a young alcoholic, to be honest.
A youngaholic.
A youngaholic. That's hilarious. So I think that was bound to happen. And then I think this one, she was a liar, and it was long distance. You know what I'm saying? Because I told her, I was like, why did you even lie about this? Like, you could have just, like, I'm a upfront to tell what you up. Like, all right, that hurt, but it's cool. Like, this is, I'd rather we break this off rather than you lie to me about some shit. So, you know, that's how I feel.
I feel you. So in a way, that bit came from like, it sounds like it came from like a combination of your experiences cheating, like being cheated on, but also, you know, and so like I like that, like you grew up around cheating and you decided to like do the opposite, because that is not, I know some dudes who are like, my daddy raised me to be like, yo, you a black man and you a hot commodity, you better be out here and swinging this thing, you know, and then he has that mentality because he's like, well, that's how my daddy was, you know. So I really do respect you for like, you know, making your own decision in that case.
Well, I'm not gonna sit there and say I'm like this great, you know, when it came to that. Like for me, when it came to like relationships, I try to be, but when I was single, I was out here in the streets. I was active.
As you should be. Like that's what I'm saying. Like I'm talking about, we've had a conversation, we're exclusive, we're together, you know, like we split rent, like in your situation, you know what I'm saying? Like that, and then you doing it. Yeah, but when you're single, and this is the thing I wish more guys knew, or maybe they know and just don't care, but I just wish more guys understood that communication to a woman is everything. And like, I mean, for me in the past, like in my early 20s, when I first started like having sex and things like that, I know a lot of the times when I had an issue, it was like, I met a guy and I'm like, we could have been casual if we had the conversation before the penetration. That's the issue. It's like, because I know I've had casual situations in my life where it was like no one ever caught feelings. I never got upset or got possessive or whatever, because before the penetration, We had a clear conversation about like the boundaries and what to expect and what not to expect. And I've learned because I've, in the past, I learned the hard way. Now at this point in my life, I understand that like, okay, if a guy tells me that this is just sex is all he wants, and that's all it is, and then and if I'm okay with that, then I'm okay with that. And and again, I've had great sex with guys that I was just casual with, so where it's like, okay, cool, like we have this chemistry or whatever in that way, but I'm not going to expect anything from you. So because even females, even women, other women will, even if a guy like, if I have sex with a guy, right? And he never told me ever before we had sex that he wanted anything more, or that it was going to be anything. And then I get upset when I find out he's seeing somebody else, or I get upset. If I were to do that and I go to my homegirls would the first thing they ask is, well, what did he say before y'all had sex? And this is, East. I'm from the East Coast. It was like that there. It's like that out here. Like, I know a lot of women will tell their homegirls the same thing. They always ask their homegirl, like, well, what did he say before you had sex? Now, if he said he was single before y'all had sex, and he said he lived by himself, and he said he was interested in you more than a friend, if he said he wanted to date you exclusive, he said that before y'all had sex, and then he flipped the script, then you have every right to be mad. But
Right.
Most women will tell their homegirls, no, girl, if he didn't say that, then that's on you. And I think that like I think that that would make casual sex a lot easier for people, and it would be a lot less busted windows and slash tires if people just said before we had sex that it's not gonna be nothing, because women will tell other women, no, girl, he didn't say that. You can't get mad at him because you gave it to him and you didn't say that. So I just want more guys to know that, so there's less lying, like, my homegirls would check me if I was tripping. They'd be like, well, no, girl, he said this was just what it was, and you obviously were cool with that because you put it down. So
that's real. I think from the guy's perspective, the reason why a lot of guys don't, they might lie about that. A lot of men don't want to lose vagina. They don't want to lose sex. So they rather get it first before they can lose it. So they understand that the more times you're transparent and honest, you have a higher chance of losing. When you say, hey, look, I don't want nothing real. Oh, this nigga's trying to smash. But from what I've heard from women, like you just said, and I heard this I've asked women, they said the same thing. It's just like, yo, let us have the choice to make the choice, to be with you, to mess with you, to do whatever. Right. Even if you be like, yo, I'm in a relationship, I'm married. You tell a woman that, this woman will be like, this nigga fine though, I still want to sleep with him. Some women will still do that. But they want to know. They want to make the decision on their own. They don't want you to make the decision for them. So now you got them twice, in the sense of like you lied and you made a decision for them that they may or may not want to make.
Exactly. And that's all it is just like, and that's selfish. And in those cases, that is why if you deserve to get your tires slashed and your windows busted up. Because for me, if a woman asked you before y'all had sex how you feel about her, and you presented it as, oh, I want to be with you exclusively, or I'm not seeing nobody else. If she asks you all those questions and you lie, and then you know how women are, if we have a connection with you, and then it's like, well, now it's like, Jasmine Sullivan, this bitch, okay? Like, yeah. I mean, and so I don't feel bad for guys who lie to do that. And it's like, well, yeah, that's just karma, because women, we do hold each other accountable off what a man says, we will, because I guess that's the point. But moving we could talk about this topic up for hours, but
I can also, yeah.
I could, but let me move on to your next bit right now. So let's take a listen.
Yeah, he's like, "What's more for the music?" I mean, I was like, "Play whatever, dog." He's like, "Oh, I got just a thing. I know what they like." Exactly. I know we're right. There's not many of us. Seven of us. So she pops off 7 against 200. Okay. We got to do good. I know, man. Did he jokes? You didn't come here for you. Get the fuck off the stage. Bring up the show. Thank you. What's your name? Christy, how you doing, Christy? All right, good. All right. Thank you, little sir. Doing good. All right, yeah. I'm not gonna lie. My guy with tattoo make me nervous out here. I'm not gonna lie. Here we go. I'm looking for a mama, so we're there all just like you, boy. What the fuck is happening? What's happening right now?
So that was just like some crowd work. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, that was great. I just I'm very curious. You know, I'm actually glad you're the first person to send me a bit like that's like all crowd work, you know, like that, like it. But I'm glad because I mean now that's because that was like, well, what was going on in your head in that moment, you know, when that happened? Just because from the start you get on the because I mean this is for viewers that are listening and can't watch visually. It's you get on stage, they're playing like stereotypical hip hop, you react, and then you just are in the crowd, but it's engaging. But I'm wondering like what was going through your head in that moment.
So I was featuring for at a certain time my boy Sam Comro. He was on America's Got Talent, and when he was on America's Got Talent, he went pretty far. And so when he started touring, you know, a lot of the crowds from America's Got Talent, it's the whitest of white crowds, the whitest of whites. And so he's clearly the star. He's a big star because America's Got Talent. So you having a black opener, and you know, I'm universal. I can do any room, but I'm also myself too. So I'm going up there and I see these crowds, and it'd be like one or two black people in the crowd a lot of times. So it's like I'm like, when the host goes up, they're playing like, you know, Led Zeppelin or fucking Van Helsing or whatever. They're playing some shit, some rock and roll shit. And when I get up there, they're like, oh no, we got to switch it up because we got to play a little hippity hop. Black guys coming up. So just like, this is what you're going to play when I come up. Cause my thing is just like, play whatever, because I'm going to just probably riff off it if it's not something that I listen to anyways. I just play off it. So I try to have as many real moments in my set as I can, especially when I first get on stage, just to kind of like loosen the crowd up and get them to know who I am. So that's kind of just what that was. It's just like a lot of white people. Sometimes it is a little nervous when you get in there, because it's like, if it's like 99% white, you're like, all right. I don't necessarily change up my lingo like that. My lingo I still say certain things that is like how I grew up. And I was like, I wanted this, is this going to communicate correctly, like go across correctly, and they're going to be able to translate and understand that. And then the white guy, I forgot what city we're in. Were we in Virginia? I forgot what city.
If you were in Virginia, there were definitely, because I'm from Virginia. So if you was in Virginia, there were definitely, I can confirm it was 99%. Yeah,
and I think it might be more of it might have been a lot of military people there too, in that sense. But like, yeah, the white dude with tattoos, the lady there kind of just like, somebody was just like, I was going through the crowd kind of talk, and she was just like, I'm not here to see you, bro. Like, do your fucking jokes, man. Like, do your jokes, do your little 20 minutes, whatever you're going to do, so Sam can come up here, because that's who we paid to see. So I just acknowledged that and just put that feeling out there. That's what I do a lot of when I do stand up. Is just like I try to acknowledge as much as what's going on, and just give my either honest take, or even possibly my insecurity about it. You know what I'm saying? It might just be me being a little insecure on stage, so I just acknowledge that to get it off my chest. And normally it comes across as funny, because your insecurities are hilarious to people.
Wow, that, you know, I never even thought about it that way, because it's like I you know, I'm glad you brought that up, because I had a conversation years ago with a comedian, Esau McGraw. You know Esau, right? Mm. And he's, you know, hilarious comedian, you know, and everything. But I had a conversation with him one time, because I felt like I was holding back. I was about 3-4 years in. And I told him I was starting to notice that when I was on stage, I could feel myself sitting on impulses, you know, And I was like, when I was trying to like get over that, and I was like, yeah, but I'm scared. I wrote this material, and I was still in that mindset of, oh no, I've got to do my material, and I wrote it, and it's gonna be this. And then he was like, nah, man, you gotta like, he's like, think about it. He was like, your impulses are what make you a comedian. Period. You know, like the reason you are a comedian is because of your impulses, is because of those things that. And so he said, when you're sitting on that, you're sitting on your gift. And so, but the acknowledgement thing, you know, is like so big. It's so big. So I'm glad you brought that up, because that's something that I have had to learn the hard way. You know,
I think that's one of the hardest things for a comedian to do, because we're already afraid to be judged. So we go, all right, when I go on stage, let me just do this tried and true material. Let me do what I know works. Because if I say something that's not tried and true, or just off the top of my head, and I'm not comfortable with that, and it bombs, now I'm digging myself out of a hole. Where it's like, just be your authentic. Like, I forgot how it was said, but it was like, you know, it was like, either you're a comedian when you can like make anything funny, and then like something, if you're just funny, like if you write funny jokes, you're like a comic. If you're a comedian, you can just make anything funny. I forgot. It might be the reverse. I forgot how it was said.
No, I think you're right. I think you're right with comic can write jokes, and the comedian can, you know,
just make anything funny. Like, they can just see a doorknob and turn a doorknob into a 5-minute bit.
Whew. Well, I guess it's time for us to transition into your third and final bit that we're going to talk about. And so I'm just going to go ahead and press play.
Be real, ladies. If you feel fat, you go, baby, I feel fat, and your man goes, but you look good fat. You gonna smack the hell out of him, right? You gonna smack his head off his shoulders. I realize we don't have a lot of insecurities as men. We don't have a lot of insecurities as men. We don't. She was like, wait a second, I can list you 40 right now. I can give you 40. But we don't have a bunch that's like, you know, marketed towards us, right? We don't. Like what is one? Hair loss, right? You see a bunch of the hair loss commercials on TV, right? The other one is the packet size commercials, right? the pills for you so you can be long and strong, right? And the other one is what? Like, as a man, you want to have money. If you got money as a man, you feel more like a man, right? You want to be able to financially provide for yourself and for your family. And if you have money, the other two don't mean shit. So what I need to do is get my money up, so I can walk around with a bald head and a small penis. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay, so another hitter. So yeah, why don't you fill us in on that? What motivated that one? That on Instagram you titled "Be Real, Ladies, If You Feel Fat."
So I think the title of that joke is supposed to be just men's 3 biggest insecurities or something like that, and that's where it came from. It's like, those are our three biggest insecurities: is our losing our hair, our package size, and being broke, not having money, because those are the things we're supposed to be known for. At least the money thing we're supposed to be known to provide and stuff like that. So it came from that. It came from like when I actually it's piggybacks off a joke previously that I do, and about losing my hair, and how I had curly hair. Like, I had big curly hair, like a little curly afro, like how you got. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And when I lost my hair, I was devastated. Like, I was hurt for a year. I didn't know how I was gonna, like, I was like, man, what am I gonna do? Like, I was known for having the hair, and then when I had the waves dipping, you know. So that hurt. And then I started to look at, I was like, what am I insecure about? And at the time, I was like, man, I'm bald and I'm broke. You know what I'm saying?
It's the way you said it. Just sorry.
It was the truth. Like, I was like, I'm bald and I'm broke. God damn. And I'd be looking at these fat guys that be like, paying for women. They're fat, bald, but they have a lot of money and they got a small penis, but they don't care because they got a lot of money. So they'll sit there and they'll have sex with a girl, and the hottest girl, because it's like, I don't care what she says. My penis is small. What does it matter? I have millions. I don't get another girl. It does not matter. Yeah. So I was just like, man, if you have money, that would kind of make you at least feel a little bit better about your other insecurities. You know what I'm saying? If you have them. So that's kind of where it came from. It's just like, I mean, I'm comfortable in that other department. I'm comfortable there.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to be vulgar about it, but I'm comfortable in that department.
No, clearly I highly doubt that you would have black girlfriends if you weren't. Just keeping it
As
real.
a black woman, we're not settling for a small penis. You would have a white girl. So the fact that you got a black girlfriend, you're at least a little bit above average out here.
I mean, you are. I mean, it's true though. I mean, it's true. I mean, like I meet black women who are like pro-black, love black men, want to be with a black man, and then they end up with like a Latino guy or an Asian guy or a white guy, and I'm like, oh, that guy is putting it down, okay? Because ain't no black woman, especially a black woman, to know her worth and know her power. Ain't about to settle for no. I'm a black woman, man. I'll call my cousin and tell him to invite me to introduce me to some of his homeboys, and I'll, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not gonna settle for no small. No, I don't have to. So it's like, no. So that's why I'm like, yeah, no. I've known you for years, and you've always, like, at least from what I've seen, had a sister on your arm. So I'm like, okay, clearly you cool.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I stay with the sisters. I don't be. I mean, on the low, I might smash me a little other something back then.
Well, we've all dibbled and dabbled.
It's like dabbled in the other races because
it's like shopping at Abercrombie once in a while. You're like, I'll buy a shirt from here.
No problem. But I never always saw myself with a black wife, so I was just like, I couldn't go outside of that in the sense of like when it came to a relationship or being married. But that's where that joke pretty much came from. It's just like that joke from my special I Might Need Therapy, and that's where it was just like that's where all that stuff goes into. It's like all that stuff goes into like the therapy of just like, man, like the things that I'm insecure about and like why I'm insecure about that. And I remember I was not talking to this girl, but it was a homegirl of mine, and like her and a few friends around I were like out to dinner, and I was like 29, 28. And I was talking about being bald. I had like a beanie on because I didn't shave my head. And she was like, why you have a beanie on? Just take your, I was like, I got the cul-de-sac right now. The cul-de-sac is, ain't looking too good. Dude. I got that George Jefferson rolling right now. I don't know about all that.
Yo, please tell me that's a tag. You have a cul-de-sac tag.
Oh yeah, definitely. So, and this is a black woman. She's telling me this, and she's like, yo, we don't give a, like, she's like, you're like almost 30. She's like, a woman that's 30, she don't give a shit about that. That maybe a 21-year-old girl's like, ew, he's bald. But she was like, what are you talking about? Like, and she was like, bald is sexy to a lot of us. Like, that shows testosterone. That shows manhood to a lot of us women, to be honest. And she was like, bald with a beard? Oh, you a man. So she was just like, she's like, you tripping. So
well, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of blasculin.
Blasculin? That has to be some new shit.
Blasculins.
Blasculin has to be a new term. I don't know how you gonna make it into.
I'm gonna work.
That's funny.
I'm glad I recorded this, man. I'm coming up. You help me come with some hits, okay? No, but a lot of black masculine men are like Ving Rhames and like I've always thought Ving Rhames. I'll use him as an example. I've always thought Ving Rhames was just and he'd been bald since the 70s, 80s, forever, and I just always thought he was so fine, because he's like, he got that ball. Sometimes he had facial hair, sometimes he don't. Michael, who's the other Michael Clark Duncan? Remember, is that him?
Clark Duncan, Clark Duncan, Michael Jordan, like they were.
So it's but I'm glad. I guess you kind of sort of already answered it, but it's like, yeah, like, is that what helped you get over the insecurity that you felt when you first, were losing your hair? Was it the fact that you had another homegirl like kind of confirm that? Was it a combination of like talking about it in your comedy? I'm just trying to curious, like what, because clearly, I know we don't show our insecurities. I've known you for a while. You never come off insecure to me, but you never know what someone's really feeling. But yeah, like, I mean, I just was curious, like, what was performing and talking about it on stage, did that help in the healing of or getting over that?
Absolutely. Like that. The reason why I named that album I Might Need Therapy, because the stage is therapeutic to me. Like, even I go to therapy now, but still there's been nothing more therapeutic than stand up. And everything that I talk about that I'm, whether it's insecure or that I feel weird about, the more and more I talk about it, the less power it has. And
Ooh, that's a word. Ooh, that's a word.
and, and
Okay.
that's and that's just me. I understand people say when you talk about it too much, that means, but it just depends on who you are. For me, when I started talking about it, I started to care less. But for a very long time, you got to understand where my mindset comes from is that growing up, when you're, especially in the Black community, when they say you have quote unquote that good hair, which I don't even necessarily like that anymore, but it's like that's what I was told growing up that I had, quote unquote, the good hair. And then literally women would sit there and tell me one of my best breeding attributes is my hair. So it's like when women's like, I just want to have kids with you because I want our kids to have your texture hair. My daughter would have, I just love to do my daughter's hair if they had your hair, all that shit. So, and that goes into a whole deeper, bullshit from, from all the white slaves, all that bullshit. That goes
Yes,
from all
that
that.
is systemic
So
as AF.
systemic as hell. So, so that's why it bothered me when that was being told to me as a young kid, that's one of your best attributes as that you have. When I'm like 7 through like 17 and a little bit in college. So when you lose that, it's just like, damn, like this my hair got me girls. And when you lose the thing that got you women, you're like, how am I like what else is going? Oh, I mean, I got a couple other attributes, but damn, like I had 3, now I got 2. Shit, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So, and then men just in general, they, we don't want to be bald out here, man. At the time, anyways. Now I don't care. I'm not tripping.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that surprises me. I feel like you would think, well, I guess, I can understand. Like how it can be bothersome. But I guess the good thing is you're a guy, it's not, don't get me wrong. Like I know plenty of women that I think a woman with a bald head is sexy, you know what I'm saying, too. But what I'm saying, especially if she confident with it and rocking it, like, I mean, when I did my chop, I cut all my relaxed hair out of my hair in 2011. So I've been natural for 10 years. And and I've cut my hair. My hair's been longer, I've cut it, I've done all these different things with it, play with it and stuff. But yeah, like I noticed a certain thing because my hair when I was getting relaxers was always like down to here, And I actually, when I went natural, there were guys that like would see photos of me, and when I had relaxed hair, and like black men too, and they'd be like, "Oh, Chelsea, wow, why'd you cut your hair? You were pretty." And I was like,
that's a jab, shit.
I'm like,
yeah.
I was like, I literally like am way the same. My face is the same. My breasts, my body's the same. I'm like, but you gonna say I was pretty because of my hair, And it's like, but so then that triggered it, but that triggered insecurity for me too, because I went from having this long European looking hair to embracing my natural hair. And I chopped and it was really short. I'd never had short hair like that before, but I think I don't know, like literally I cut my hair and I was like, oh man, all these guys are not gonna be into me. And then I went out with my girlfriends like one week and I got like 6 numbers. I was like, well, I guess it was a lie.
I think people gotta understand too, especially when a woman cuts their hair short, that even if you don't feel confident, that shows confidence because one, we know how it's way more, a woman's hair is way more important to her than it is to a man, right? With our hair, that's one. But two, you got to show that at that point, you all face. Like your hair doesn't cover up your ears, cover up parts of your face, your eye. If your face is a little weird, like a little, awkward looking, you can put your hair down and cover that part of your face. You all face, and that's it. So I think some men also see that and be like, for her first of all, they might just like natural hair in general, but then also too, it's like, that's confidence right here. Like she out here, I can see everything, and I like that. That's it's attractive to me. I like the shorty. I call it the shorty doo-wop. You get that shorty doo-wop?
Yeah. I am not my hair. I am not my beard. Like it's a part of me right now because this is how I'm wearing it, but it's not. This doesn't define me. This
right.
Yeah.
And I don't want to compare my beard to the hair. This is a whole different ballgame. But it's the similarities in the sense for like some guys, like they won't cut their beard because that's like their look, especially in our industry, particularly.
Oh no, a beard on a guy. Like I know some dudes who like I know some dudes the second they beard started to connect. Oh, they a whole different group of women started hollering at them. It was like, oh, my beard connection
Hey,
now.
hey, once my mutton chops connected to my goatee, it was I was all of a sudden, it was like, damn, Zaddy. It was daddy with a D to Zam Zaddy with the beard. I was like, oh, that's what we doing? All right. There you go.
You just brush it a little bit.
Oh.
So real, so real. Oh man. Well, Keenan, this has been very, very delightful. This has been a nice conversation, very eye-opening, very funny. And yeah, so before I let you go, please, I would love for you to share with the audience, your social media handles, any information about your special, and if anybody wants to dive into the world of Keenan Baker, where should they go?
KeenanBaker.com. Got my special on there. I might need therapy. My shirts, Your Story Matters. I tell a lot of stories on stage. I got an anime podcast called Anime Shun Podcast, SHUN. If you like anime, I noticed.
I love anime.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
Rock with anime, Blurs. You know what I'm saying? Tony Baker and Friends special on. I'm on that. It's on Amazon, or you can get it on Gumroad. Yeah, man. Social media, Keenan Baker, KEENANBAKER on all social media platforms.
Well, dope. Well, Keenan, thank you so much for joining us today. And like I say to all my guests, thank you for letting me get inside your punchlines.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, man. Definitely. And look forward. I'll probably have you back like in the future. Why not? Because I know you have a ton of material, and this was such a great interview. So definitely look forward to having you back in the future. And thanks again. And yeah, well, until next time. Peace. And that was the hilarious Keenan Baker. Thank you again, Keenan, for letting us get inside your punchlines here on Chelsea's Chai. It was so much fun. And, he's hilarious. Please follow him on his social media sites. Check out his special, I Might Need Therapy. And, all your content, like he said, like he mentioned, you can go to his website, KeenanBaker.com, for all your Keenan Baker needs and entertainment. Okay, so now it's time to transition into the closing segment here on Chelsea's Chai, and that is grow up. Grow, Figaro, grow up. Okay. All right, so my grow up tip for this week is there's no short term that I can think of for these types of women or people, but my grow up is to I guess secretly insecure human beings, that secretly or undercover insecure human beings. That is who my grow up is dedicated to this week. Okay, here we go. I'll start with women, okay, who fall into this category. And, excuse me, confirmations. If you fall into this category, okay? You just do. Let's be honest. And so for me, I'll say this. I've dealt with a lot of weird personalities and narcissists and shady people and liars and arrogant people and passive aggressive condescending people, and I know what I deserve, as a woman and as a friend, and there's just certain things that I'm just not tolerating anymore. Okay, so I'll give you an example. I not that long ago was out, and a very, very attractive guy, approached me. He approached me and my homegirl and our other friends. Now, I will say this: when this incident happened, I was, under the impression that he was going to holler at my friend, because my homegirl that I was with, she's one of those girls, like she's pretty. She is definitely a physically beautiful woman, and she is definitely used to guys always coming to her, gravitating towards her, coming over to her, hollering at her. Like she's that girl that guys just they come to, right? And that's fine. I am definitely well aware that I have an unconventional beauty, right? I'm not, when I say unconventional, I mean that I know that I'm a beautiful woman and can't nobody tell me different, because it has taken me years and years to just own my beauty and own all the things about myself that the world tried to say was ugly. And so I know that I'm beautiful, but I understand that men are superficial, to lack of a better word. And it's not a bad thing or a good thing. It is what it is, right? Men are superficial. Men look at how you look, and a lot of men, go towards women who fall into what I call society's standard of beauty. Okay, SSB. There's SSB, chicks, and that's fine. But this is what I'll say to women like that, because this girl, this very attractive guy came over, and she definitely assumed he was going to come in and talk to her, and I assumed so too. And I noticed that when she was trying to be flirtatious with him, he wasn't really, giving her feedback. And all of a sudden, he turns to me, compliments my afro, And by the way, I know a guy, is feeling me when he compliments the fro. It's kind of like, oh, the kryptonite for some dudes. It's like, oh, the fro, you like the fro? Oh, well, I got the fro for you, fo. Okay. That didn't make a whole lot of sense, but it rhymed. And I'll say this. So my grow up is like, the girl reacted to the fact that the guy was flirting with me and was, getting, sharing his attention to me. She reacted to that as, after he left, her response was, I think he's kind of gay. I think he's gay. And it's like, and the sad thing is like, she was not the first, nor has she been the last woman to say that to me, right? And this is the thing, I know that my fro is shorter. I know that, society says that men only like women with long hair, which, by the way, honey, it's called shrinkage, okay? Because my hair blown out, honey, and y'all wait, okay? Wait till these Dominicans blow my hair out, okay, honey? It's gonna be a whoosh and a whoosh to the left and the right. But either way, it's like, I know that I'm beautiful right now. I'm beautiful with my hair freshly washed out the shower, as I am with it fully blown out by some Dominicans. So it doesn't matter to me, what state I am. I own my beauty. And one of the things that I have learned is in these last few months, which is one of my biggest lessons that I can share with you, is can't nobody validate you outside of you. Period. Okay. And that is the lesson that has taken me years to learn. Can't. It's not about whether they will or they won't. They cannot. Nobody can validate you outside of you and the higher power you choose to worship. For me, it is the Most High God. Okay. So those are the only opinions about me that are relevant from here on out. And so, women, the SSB, society standard of beauty women, who stop, telling your homegirl who maybe has more of like a unique look, or maybe has more of like a different look, don't diss her because a guy is interested in her and not in you, because there's been plenty of times when a guy was interested in you and not in her, right? But see, that's okay. That's okay for a guy to be interested in you SSB, but not yo homegirl who maybe she has a different kind of haircut, or maybe she has unique shaped eyes, or maybe she has different shaped cheekbones, or different, features in her that are not, what you have. So you got to grow up, okay? You cannot sit here and be like, well, I'm used to getting all the attention, and I'm used to, guys only talking to me, and I'm used to being the queen bee, and I'm used to that. You got to grow up, girl, okay? It is possible for a man to be completely heterosexual and not into you at all. I hate to break it to you. I know that it's shocking. I know it's not something you're used to, but guess what, girl? A guy is not gay just because he's not attracted to you. I know that society has always told you yes. I know that men just, fall at your feet and your beauty and da 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 da. But your other homegirl is not any less beautiful than you and not any less dope than you because a guy is talking to her and not you. Like, really, female friendships should mean more than that, And ladies, and I encourage you, please, 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 pay attention to how yo female homegirls or female friends act when an attractive man is around y'all, okay? Because see, now you got to pay attention because I've gone out with some homegirls and then I'm being myself and I'm being free and which I deserve, by the way. I deserve to be free. I deserve to be myself, okay? I deserve to be relaxed, especially around people that I call my friends, because I make an effort to make sure everybody around me is in a friendly, happy, relaxed state of mind, okay? But what I'm not going to do is at the expense of my peace and happiness anymore. I will not sit there and minimize myself or dim my light or be any less of who I am every doggone day just to make you feel a little bit more secure in this moment. Those days are dead. And some people may be shocked because some people are about to see a whole new Chelse, but it's not really a whole new Chelse. It's the same Chelse that's always been there, okay? Because Chelse Brienne Grow, and that is my full government. Yes, it is. Feel free to look it up. Google. I do not care. Chelse Brienne Grow. Let me tell you, Chelse Brienne Grow knows knows who she is. She knows her value, and she know can't nobody but the Most High God, and herself validate who I am, period. And I know some of y'all were used to me taking abuse and stuff like that because see, I'm an empath. I'm an empath and I'm used to like absolutely being in tune with people's energies. And as a result, over the years, I spent a lot of time minimizing myself and holding my breath to make sure everybody else around me is comfortable. And people got used to that. And see, that's my fault. My only mistake is not doing this sooner, not getting to this place sooner. But it's okay because I'm here right now, honey. Okay. And this is where she gonna stay. She gonna stay being who she is all day, every day. Because here's the thing. This is a message for all the empaths there, and empaths, take this as a grow up note too. Okay, if you an empath, pay attention to the energy vampires in your life. Pay attention to people, how people react when you say that, oh, you're going through something. When you say your dreams and the things you want. When you say, oh, I would love to have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, or I would love to have a house one day, or a car. See how people react. Do they react in support, or do they react in some hateration ass mess? Because if they're hating on you, or they're sitting there trying to say, oh, you can't do this, or they don't do that, but they have no empathy for you, but you always got empathy for them, then you need to get a new circle of friends. And I know that it sucks. I'm going through it right now too. But let me tell you something, honey. You deserve the best, just like I deserve the best. Because the thing is, all these people that we bite our tongues for, all these people that we hold back for, all these people that we hold our breath for, and that we sit on our feelings for, they would never do that to you. They would always, and it's funny, all the people in my life that ever really stabbed me in the back and ever really hurt me and ever really manipulated me and used me, they gave me red flags and red signs and stuff like that. They did all of that and I ignored it. And that's my fault. That's my fault for ignoring that stuff as long as I did, because it ended up, I was the one who ended up getting hurt in the long run. So what I'll tell you is go ahead and feel free to eradicate anybody who is not going to sit there and support you, period. Okay. So that's my grow up. All these secretly insecure people, and fellas, to you too. You know what I'm saying? Like, fellas, if you got a homeboy out there and maybe you going through a rough time financially, and your homeboy who you think is your friend, like for example, say your homeboy let you borrow his shoes, y'all the same size shoes, and maybe y'all want to go to a party tonight, kick it with some ladies, and he got some fresh shoes on, and your homeboy, that let you borrow the shoes, he see you getting some play from some females, and if that dude come over and he's like, oh yeah, and some girls are complimenting your shoes, and he's like, oh yeah, well, those are my shoes. Those are my shoes. That is a whack dude. He is corny and he is whack. And it's whack when females do that too. Females, don't lend your homegirl don't lend your homegirl a hair tie. If when somebody else gives her a compliment on it, that you gonna sit there and be like, oh, that's mine. Well, just so you know, that's mine. That is so embarrassing. That is so disrespectful, condescending. And once again, you wouldn't like it if somebody did that to you. So all of you secretly insecure people who portray yourself as confident, but really you're insecure because the second somebody who's truly confident, the second somebody who's truly secure in themselves comes in your presence, all of a sudden, all you want to do is attack them and try to bring them down and jab them down. You can have every seat in Dodger Stadium and in the LA Rams Stadium too, because let me tell you something. That's only going to last for so long, because eventually if somebody continues to live and somebody continues to push forward and somebody continues to grow in who they are, eventually they gonna stop tolerating that BS. And I've been through too much stuff to minimize who I am. Okay. I have lived under a self-created shadow because I was always afraid, because anytime I was really being free in myself, somebody would come with some BS telling me, oh, you're too loud, Chelsea. Oh, Chelsea, you're just being too much. Or, Chelsea, you need to like pipe down. And, Chelsea, you just need to and it's like, no, girl, I don't have to do a daggone thing but be my doggone self. And let me tell you all something else about my voice, okay? I know that my voice cuts through different sounds. I know my voice projects, but trust me, I am not yelling. And you will know when I am yelling, and you will know when my voice is elevated. So anybody that's got a problem with my volume has got a problem with me, okay? Because that's one thing I'm not doing. Don't come over here talking about my voice too loud and I'm too this and I'm too much. Nah, 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 nah. I'm not too much, okay? Because you can't tell me to be quiet if 30 seconds after you tell me to be quiet, your volume go on 75 decibels when mine was on 2. So don't sit there. My volume is never the issue. My personality is never too much. It may be too much for you because of what you're dealing with, but that's your issue. So again, all these secret insecure people, all of y'all need to grow up, get your stuff together, and stop making the rest of us feel like there's something wrong with us when there's nothing wrong with us. Okay. And like I said, I've worked too doggone hard to love myself, to let somebody come through with their insecurities and project that BS onto me. Okay. And you can't carry nobody else's baggage. Somebody can put their baggage down in front of you, but it's your choice to pick it up. Okay. And from now on, everybody's baggage that gets set down in front of me, you might as well consider it lost luggage, okay? Because I ain't picking it up, okay? I ain't even touching it because I don't even want that energy on me. And that is my grow up for this first week of March. I know she was a detailed one, but a necessary one. So, if I had to sum it up, as always, love yourself, take care of yourself, make yourself a priority. Screw all these other people, because the truth is a lot of these people who you think are your friends, they're really not. And the second they have an opportunity to try to embarrass you or try to make you feel less than or make you feel unworthy, they're going to take it. And the second that they do, that's when you just bow out peacefully. You don't owe nobody no explanation. You don't owe nobody no detailed conversation. You owe yourself peace. And that's what I got to say about that. Again, I'm Chelsea Grow. Thank you so much for watching and listening here on Chelsea's Chai. You guys can follow me on Instagram. I am on social media, Twitter and Instagram at Chelsea G Comedy. That's at CHELSEG Comedy. Also, you can go to my website, chelseagrow.com, CHELSEGREAUX at gmail.com. That's my email. But basically my chelseagrow.com, my first and last name.com. That's my website. And yeah, as always, my special Yes I Can is streaming on Spotify, Apple Music, and iTunes, and you can check it out on Tidal. You can also check it out on YouTube if you want to watch the full special, which has some extended cuts on it. Thank you to everyone who has been watching Chelsea's Chai. This is the episode before the last episode of season 1. You're really excited. Be sure to tune in next week. I've got a very exciting season 1 finale episode for you guys, doing some unique things haven't done before. So I can't wait for you all to check it out. And until next time, make sure your cup is empty and make sure you stay full.